Hi, welcome to the Culinary Classroom. I'm Michele Bisbee, Culinary Specialist with the Child Nutrition Programs. Here in the Culinary Classroom, we provide hands-on and virtual training opportunities for child nutrition staff everywhere. We hope you enjoy this video to follow, and let us know if you utilize any of our recipes in your kitchens. Hi, in this video, we're going to be talking about USDA foods and how they relate to menu planning. In child nutrition, we are a segment of the food service that is really like no other. You don't have the income from sales like restaurants. You are working on a very limited budget, and you're lucky if you get district help with finances. So when it comes to your menu planning and your food purchasing, you need to utilize every dollar as wisely as you possibly can. USDA foods can help immensely in this. The trick, though, is that you need to start planning almost a year in advance. The process to ordering USDA foods truly begins in November when we send out a pre-survey. This is a list of all the foods that USDA offers, and you select the things that most interest you that you'd like to be on our annual order. So before November hits, you want to take a look at all of your menus. You want to look at what your staple items are that you know will never come off that menu, and see how many of those recipes you could use a USDA food in. For example, you have tacos every Tuesday, you make spaghetti with meat sauce, things like that. You might want to consider ordering a substantial amount of ground beef. It can be used not only in those tacos and in that meat sauce, but it can be a pizza topping. You could make sloppy Joe sandwiches, you could do cheeseburger subs. It is a very versatile product. Another item that you might want to consider buying a substantial amount of would be USDA chicken strips. They can be used in pasta dishes, on salads, in wraps, on a pizza topping. Again, a very versatile item. So, like I said, before November hits, take a look at your menus. Look at what items on your menus could utilize the same product, just in different ways. Once you have your menus gathered, you have those items determined, you can then take a look at your the pre-survey that we put out, and you can sit there and select anything and everything that you can use on your menus that you'd like to see available on the annual order. Now we're going to fast forward to the end of January. We put out what we call our annual survey or annual order. This is where you actually go in and select what you want to order for your schools. You will not see everything on there because for the state of Maine, we have to order, USDA foods, you have to get everything in truckloads. We might not be able to fill an entire truck. Sometimes we are lucky enough to be able to split with other states nearby, New Hampshire, Vermont, places like that. But it's not always feasible that you're gonna get everything that you want. So I want you to try to look at your menus and get the best bang for your buck. When looking at another option of what you can do with your money for USDA foods, there is a program called Net Off Invoice. In that program, you look at a product that you use, but not in its finished state. You order a ton of applesauce cups, but you don't want to order the number 10 cans through USDA Foods. You can actually put some of your dollar amounts into pounds and order 50 pounds of apples to be processed. And then you get a discount when you order through that distributor, the correct distributor and the correct brand. You'll get a discount on those products ordered. A third option for your PAL or planned assistance level funds that you get that you use towards USDA foods and NOI is DoD Fresh. So if you know that you're not going to be able to spend all your money on USDA commodity foods or even NOI, you can put a good chunk of your money into DoD Fresh, and you can get fresh produce throughout the year. This is a great way to utilize up whatever you have left over after allocating those other two locations. So let's circle back to USDA commodities. This truly is a process that you need to begin a year in advance. And I know, you're sitting there in the fall, beginning of the year, trying to work through all the kinks. How could you possibly think about next year? This is where maintaining your menu documentation and keeping those production records on hand gives you that really good historical information for you to go and base, your upcoming plans on. You'll see what menu items the kids really like that you're never going to consider taking off the menu. You can see which ones that they really don't like that, okay, maybe we need to think of something else we can replace it with. Maybe you can replace it with an item that would utilize a USDA food. It's a great program to help keep your costs down. Another thing that some kitchens might consider using USDA funds for is roast turkeys for those gigantic Thanksgiving meals that everybody likes to do, or any other holiday celebration. It's always fun to have that home-cooked meal for the kids. Reminds them of how everybody can come together at the holidays. Canned fruit, if you operate a salad bar and always want to have some kind of option, and you know that fresh fruit might not always be of great quality year-round, you can get canned fruit through USDA Foods, and that is something that everybody can utilize and is generally well accepted by kids. But taking a look at what they offer and how versatile it can be for your program is really key. Another item that I think gets boxed in sometimes is pulled pork. Everybody just thinks pulled pork sandwich. But there are so many other things that you can do with it. Of course, a barbecue pulled pork sandwich is always delicious with a little coleslaw on the side, but change the seasoning and you could do a spin on carnitas or any other pork dish that your children might like, if that is something that is served in your schools. It is also important to consider, do you want to get just that raw ground beef to utilize on anything that might require a little bit more prep work, or are you really only going to use that USDA ground beef for burgers, because they do offer a burger patty? Or you can get already pre-cooked beef crumbles if you want it to be a little bit less versatile. You're going to only put it in meat sauces and only tacos. Really evaluating the product that is correct for you and correct for your menu is going to be key when it comes January and you're putting in for your annual order. If you are new to your district and you're working with what was ordered for you last year, take a look at what you have coming to you every month for USDA Foods and maybe plan your menu around that for this year, and then make the changes to what you want your menu to look like for next year. If you have any questions around menu planning or USDA Foods, do not hesitate to reach out to the Maine Department of Education Child Nutrition Office. Terry Fitzgerald is our USDA Foods head, and any of the child nutrition consultants for NSLP can help you around menu planning. Thank you.